afternoon. Happy Friday. My name is Caitlin, Customer Success Manager here at SONAR, and welcome back to WithSONAR. This webinar is designed to help you identify use cases to enhance your SONAR experience. Last week, we went over our load board prioritization tool, Coverage Guide, and today I'm going to focus on another tool within the Broker Toolkit, which is our Sales Guide. So if you will bear with me while I share my screen. Alrighty, we all know that this market has been extremely difficult to solicit new business as well as grow your existing business. So Sales Guide was designed to help you get more targeted with your sales approach for your new and existing customers. At first glance, you will see a map with our weighted rejection index. This is measuring the weekly change in rejections as well as their market share, so you can see which markets are having the most significant shift in capacity based on their overall market size. The markets shaded in blue are going to be the ones having the most significant increase, and those in red will be the markets that are decreasing. The darker in color as well on the map is going to represent the more significant of the increase or decrease, so you can easily spot those markets that are having the most significant shifts. The table at the bottom is going to sort all 135 key markets by those that are having the tightest market conditions to those that are the loosest. So when you're thinking of this tightening, think of that from a shipper's perspective, where they are having the most difficulty securing capacity and they need the most help out of these markets. So you, as a carrier or a broker, have the most potential to win some additional business out of those markets. So this is going to allow you to get more targeted with your sales approach, so you can focus on calling these markets where customers are experiencing more difficulties instead of like, well, I really hope I can get some additional business today. I'll just, pick a market at random and hope for the best. These you can easily see, okay, shippers are struggling with capacity out of this market. Let me call my contacts in Atlanta. Let me research facilities in Atlanta and get more focused in on that approach to hopefully see more success. Now, additionally, if you are an account manager and you're already managing some existing business, let's say you know that you have a customer that operates heavily out of Atlanta and Joliet, for example. I'm going to give those customers that I run business for a call and see how they're feeling in the market. Have you had any issues with capacity lately? Is there any additional business that I can help out with? Really get ahead of those conversations and have educated conversations with your customer. So not only are we going to give you, a list to sort the tightest to loosest markets, we're also going to give you some guidance and additional market conditions. That way you can go into those customer conversations or prospect conversations and be educated with who you're talking to and what they're dealing with before you pick up the phone. Now, this first page is just focused on that origin market. So this is going to give you a good starting point. So let's say you're like, okay, I'm going to go with Atlanta. That's the tightest market in the country currently. So let's start there. You can click on Atlanta within the table, within the map, or type it in at the top of your screen. And from there, it's going to show you from Atlanta delivering to all 134 destinations. And it's going to filter those by the markets that have the most potential margin. So we're measuring this week over week buy rate change, and those that have had the most significant shift in that buy rate will be at the top, and those that have had the most minimal change will be at the bottom. We're also measuring that on the map at the top. So those that have had the most increase in that margin are going to be shaded in blue. So again, you can easily see which markets delivering from Atlanta have the most potential payout. So again, if you want to focus on which destination is paying the most from a margin perspective, say you're really focused on growing margin, just start at the top of the list and go down. Or if you're looking at this and you're like, okay, I'm focusing on Atlanta, I'm going into San Diego. I know a shipper that runs that lane pretty frequently. I'm going to do everything I can to make contact with that shipper and see if they are feeling the effects of this market shift and see if I can help with that. So that's one way to look at it and get a little more focused in your approach. Now, not only are we going to give you the shipments or the lanes, that have the most potential margin payout, we're going to give you some capacity indicators as well. So you can see, okay, if I win this business, this is going to be the current spot rate. So this is our broker to carrier paid rates as of yesterday. You can adjust your margin based off your parameters, and we'll give you the overall sell rate. But then we're going to tell you, okay, how difficult is it to secure capacity on this lane from a market perspective? And how is the inbound volume changing as well as capacity? So you can really get the full piece of the puzzle within one page to help with your pricing decisions and as you're having those conversations. Now, let's say you're like, okay, I'm going to stick with this top of the list. Let me just drill into San Diego and keep top of the list theme going here. This is going to give you lane level insights. So the most granular focus that you can get from this tool, or if, like I said, you know that you have a shipper that runs this lane, you want to get really targeted and focus on that lane specifically. So you've selected your lane or you've typed in your lane. We will show you insights going into San Diego, but we're also going to show you the 9 closest markets to San Diego so you can see if any of those neighboring markets have any significant rate shift, capacity shift that could end up affecting your capacity and your overall buy rate from Atlanta to San Diego. We're going to give you that same information that you saw on the previous screen. So that current buy rate, how it's fluctuated, the capacity conditions as well. Additionally, let's say that while you're working on prospecting, you're making calls based out of Atlanta, you're talking to that shipper, and they're like, I'm running Atlanta to San Diego pretty frequently. I've been struggling with capacity. That's something I'd like to see if you're able to cover for me. You can pull this lane up while you're on the phone with the shipper, and you will have the market rate. You can add your markup. You can have those capacity conditions while you're on the phone with that customer, and you're not going to have to follow up with an email. You're not going to have to tell them, well, let me get back to you to make sure I can price correctly, or let me check with my pricing team. You have everything you need within this screen to get back to your shipper quickly and effectively because we're giving you rates and real-time market information so you can make those decisions. Now, all of this is available currently within your SONAR subscription. You can find our sales guide under applications. It's right next to the coverage guide if this will load for me. And you have access to it now. If you have any questions, please reach out to cs@gosonar.com or your account manager. We're happy to help. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of With Sonar. And we'll come back to hang out with me next week. As always, if you have any requests or specific tools or use cases you would like to see on future episodes, please leave them in the comments below. And I hope you have a great weekend.